What's up everyone, I am Toku Tyler, and today I'm going to be talking Power Rangers Beast Morphers, Episode 8, The Cybergate Opens. What a great improvement from last week's episode. Like I said before, Episode 7 wasn't bad, it just wasn't as compelling as the previous ones were, but with this week, this episode has my full attention for sure. We got a lot more of Nate's character developed and 2 new Rangers in the process. I always thought Nate needed more development as a character, and I got my wish because he shines so much in this episode, and the only thing left to do is start the review, but yeah, just thumbs up for Nate becoming like one of the best characters in the show right now. He's just so awesome. So anyway, on to the review. We start the episode with Ben walking down a hallway with a tracking device. He runs into Nate, who's using an ice cream vending machine, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. And he's trying to get ice cream from this thing, and Ben is telling him that he's testing out this new tracking device and that Betty has the tracking tag, and he's trying to find her, but all he found was Nate in front of an ice cream machine. But when the ice cream isn't coming out, Nate hits the machine, and the door opens, revealing Betty inside it, and then she gets covered in ice cream, starting the episode with a fun moment. It's not bad. I don't know. They could have just been playing hide and seek. That would have been better, I guess, but I don't know. She had to be in the machine just to have the ice cream gag. I don't know. But later on, Nate is working in his lab on a device that has a significant meaning, but I won't spoil it yet. But if you're watching this video, then you've obviously seen the episode. But the Rangers then walk in and ask Nate where he's off to. And he says he's going to test some new prototypes to upgrade them with animal DNA. And they tell him that he can't leave the base without a buddy. He's on the buddy system, basically. He needs someone to be with him at all times outside of the lab. So the Rangers then convince Nate into letting them come along. So Nate is still being protected because he's too important for their mission. He's too important to lose as the creator of the Ranger gear and as their friend as well. They've become close friends with Nate, so they just want to keep him safe. We then cut to Scrozzle in an abandoned warehouse where the Cybergate is being built. Blaze and Roxy stop by, and Scrozzle tells them that once Evox comes through, he's going to need a body to download his data into. So I was right, and that's probably why Scrozzle took the robot head from before, to build Evox a body. Scrozzle also says that the only person who can build it is the one who trapped Evox in the supercomputer in the first place, which was Nate. So we then go back to Nate in the woods with the Rangers. Nate is collecting insect DNA for his new creations. He gets praying mantis DNA, and then later on, scarab DNA. Zoe tries to help him by showing him a spider, and Nate freaks out. I completely agree. No spider DNA. I don't want a spider ranger, but it was a funny moment. They are then alerted to a Robotron attack, and the Rangers have to leave, and then they tell Nate to go back to the base. He says fine, but continues to gather DNA from a scarab beetle on the ground. This is when Blaze and Roxy then teleport in and grab him and take him away. We see the Robotron siphoning Morphex from vehicles, so he's called Vacutron, I'm pretty sure. He's a vacuum-themed robot guy, so he's draining vehicles of their Morphex energy around the city and loading them onto a truck in barrels. The Rangers arrive and transform, but the Robotron gets away with a big amount of Morphex. Ben and Betty are walking by in the city, and they do the most convenient thing ever. They want to flip a coin to decide what movie they want to see, but all they have is the tracking tag from before. So Ben flips it in the air and says green or purple, and as it's falling, it lands right on the Robotron's truck as it goes by. So they run after the tag, not realizing that they're tracking the Robotron, but the Robotron then throws barrels at them and they roll their way into a tree. So they help the plot along by coincidentally placing that tracker, but still ended in a silly way. I don't know. It's Ben and Betty logic. I'm not going to question it. But anyway, we see Blaze and Roxy taking Nate into the factory where he officially meets Scrozzle. They tell Nate to build a very special robot for them, and he figures out what they are trying to bring Evox back to Earth. That they're trying to bring Evox back to Earth. He tells them no, and they threaten to kill Nate, but if he's dead, then who's going to build the robot? That's my logic, at least. Anyway, Nate looks through the tech that Scrozzle has stole from them, and Nate tricks them into thinking that he's scared when actually he's got a plan. So he comes up with a plan to obviously fix his communicator and probably call for help. But we later see what he actually does. But I like that he's able to just convince them that he's this weak, kind of guy who doesn't want to fight, but he's actually very smart. So it's going to turn out bad for the bad guys. So this is pretty cool. The Rangers continue looking for the truck in the city and the Morph-X, but no luck. They all return to base and are told that Nate hasn't returned yet. The Rangers feel bad for leaving him, but Commander Shaw tells them that he can handle himself. This is a good moment because Nate was just saying how people always treat him like a child, and it's nice to see that Commander Shaw has some faith in him. So Ben and Betty later walk in and tell the team about them losing the tracker. Devin realizes that the tracking tag can help them find the truck and Nate. I don't understand why Ben and Betty didn't realize this. They saw the Robotron. They realize it's a tracking tag. Why did they not put this together? Instead, they just think they just lost something. It's, like I said, Ben and Betty logic. I don't question it because I don't know. I'm not going to fix it by trying to question it, but it's why didn't they realize that? I don't know. The Rangers. Oh, wait. We go back to Nate, who is almost done building the robot body for Evox. We see that along with him building the robot, Nate has also been fixing his broken communicator / teleporter like the Rangers have. Outside the factory, all three Rangers are getting ready to storm in and save Nate. They get ambushed by Vacutron from earlier, and they transform to fight him. While the fighting is happening outside, Scrozzle is ready to start up the Cybergate and release Evox. So he turns it on, he flips the switch, and as Evox is moving towards his new body, downloading his data into the robot, Nate teleports one of his new blasters using his communicator and shoots the Cybergate. This cancels the process, and Evox is stuck back in the cyber dimension, so he's pulled right back in through the portal and is returned. Nate then runs up to the robot he built and shoots the neural aligner on the Cybergate, starting a morphing sequence above him. So they power it with Morph-X, obviously, so now he's going to do the same thing he did with the other Rangers in Episode 1, so this is pretty cool. Nate pulls out the animal DNA he gathered and morphs into the Gold Ranger. This moment was so awesome, and I was cheering when I saw it. Plus, now that Nate has morphed, he has also infused the robot with the Beetle DNA, giving him his own Beastbot, aka the Silver Ranger. So, 2 new Rangers in 1 episode. I cannot stop smiling every time I think about this moment. It's so cool. Scrozzle teleports out of there because he doesn't want to fight 2 new Rangers, and we get to see our new Rangers in action. This has got to be my favorite episode so far because who doesn't love new Rangers? And it's so cool to see them fight and their banter, the things they say to each other is just so fun and they're so cool. It's awesome. Anyway, as the fight goes on with Gold and Silver between Blaze and Roxy, they defeat Blaze and Roxy, and they teleport out, and then we go back to the fight outside as it continues. The Robotron is about to defeat the Rangers, and then our new guys jump in to help, and they're surprised to see 2 new Rangers, and then they find out it's Nate. And they're like, whoa, Nate, you're a Gold Ranger now? That's just, it's a pretty cool moment. Nate's really proud of it, and I love it so much. It's so cool. Scrozzle sends a Gigadrone to get Morph-X for the Cybergate. The Rangers go to fight it, leaving Silver and Gold to fight the Robotron. The Gigadrone has the same weapon as Vacutron, so it can drain the Rangers' Zord's Morph-X energy, which is bad. So Ravi launches his banana missiles, which I think is still funny. You heard me, banana missiles. And clogs the Gigadrone's vacuum weapon, allowing them time to combine into the Megazord. They charge up the sword and summon the Cheetah Beast Blaster to destroy the Gigadrone. We then quickly go back to Nate and his new buddy. They use their new Striker Morphers to power up and shoot and destroy the Robotron. I like these new Morphers a lot. They're pretty cool. And I like the names, Striker Morphers. They're cool. And then after the Robotron and the Gigadrone are both defeated, we go back to Grid Battle Force, where Commander Shaw is pleased to hear everyone is alright. Also, we get to learn the name of Nate's Beastbot, Steel. I like the name. I like the name Steel, and I think Steel has an awesome personality. He just thinks he's the best. He thinks he's the greatest, and I love it so much. And if you've watched Go Busters, then you know why it's funny when Steel kind of like steps in front of Nate all the time. It's so fun to watch that. He thinks he's all that, and I love it. It's so cool. We also learned that since Nate used the Morphex energy to become a Ranger, it also bonded Steel's systems to the Beetle DNA and Nate's DNA, making him an actual, like, genetic relative to Nate, like a brother. Nate is always saying he always wished he had a brother. Now he does. So Steel is this combination of machine and Morphex and animal DNA, so he's the perfect ranger, he says, but see, he has this actual connection to Nate, which is pretty cool. The Rangers then apologize to Nate for thinking he couldn't protect himself and treating him like a kid, and that they won't treat him like that anymore. And I like this moment. Like I said, Nate really shines in this episode, and I love it because I was starting to think that maybe he needs a little more. Maybe if he doesn't become a ranger, at least give him a focus episode where he does like a lot of cool stuff. But he is a ranger, and this is the moment where he does cool stuff. So I'm proud either way. I love Nate so much now, and he was always a character I liked. But anyway, we end with the episode with Scrozzle fixing the Cybergate, so he's able to turn it back on a little bit. It still needs fixing, and that they still need Steel's body to get Evox out of the cyber dimension. So basically, their plan is to now kidnap the Silver Ranger because he's the vessel, and they need it for Evox, but the Cybergate still can be fixed. So it's not over yet. They still have plans to get Evox out of there, which is pretty good. It's not just one plan they tried and then failed, and they'll form a new one. They still have the Cybergate as an option. So yeah, that pretty much does it for episode 8, and this was such a great episode. We got more than I could have ever hoped for because Nate was the character that I wanted to see more of, like I said, and when he started talking about how he always wanted a brother, I had some theories about what would happen. And then we had the shot of that robot head with the whole Gigadrone in the hangar, and I got really excited because that means something. It has to mean something. So now we have our Silver and Gold Rangers, and I am so looking forward to more episodes. And if I love this episode, but if I had one problem, and it's a small one, it's that Nate has praying mantis DNA and not a Hercules beetle like in Go Busters, because his suit doesn't really say mantis. I don't know. But then again, Steel's is a scarab and not a stag beetle, so I guess it's fine. But I don't know. I want to see how they do their Zords and connect it to a mantis and a scarab. I want to see how they change that up, but no matter what, gold and silver are both here, and I couldn't be happier about it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of future videos, and may the power protect you.